Hello everyone, good afternoon. It's Friday and welcome to News Hour 1, live from our studios here on Metro Television. This program can also be accessed on DSTV channel 277. I am Josephine. Oppong-Yeboah. Coming up in the next 60 minutes, MP for Tema East demands the EC should allow political parties to openly support candidates in the upcoming district level elections. We shall hear his arguments. Newly inaugurated National Security Task Force for the district level elections charged to be firm. In business, Second World Bank and ECOWAS tripartite meeting reiterates need to boost production in the agriculture sector. Also coming up, Accra Polytechnic signs deal with Kinetic Development Company to train mechanical engineering students for Ghana's oil and gas industry. Details of those stories and others shortly. Hello again, we appreciate your time. The news now in detail. Rector of the Accra Polytechnic says efforts are underway to train mechanical engineering students for Ghana's oil and gas industry. He noted that a center of excellence will be built with the aim to train students specifically on the repair and construction of gas pipes line.
Kinetic Development Company, a company that locally produces steel pipes, is partnering the Accra Polytechnic to establish a center of excellence on their campus. The center will offer an intensive 3-month training course on the construction, maintenance and repair of pipelines meant to carry gas generated on the various oil fields. Currently, it's only expert trades that are well vested in this field, and the Accra Polytechnic is aiming to develop human resources locally to handle this. Rector for the Accra Polytechnic, Professor Sylvester Achio, commended the initiative.
It is a great honor for Accra Polytechnic to have had this kind of collaboration. We would be signing on with our counterparts, centers on oil and gas, which is very, very dear to not only Accra Polytechnic, but to the nation at large.
Chief Executive Officer of Kinetic Energy Company, Kwame Tufo, highlighted other areas the Center of Excellence will address in connection to the oil and gas industry.
The project overview basically is 4 main issues. Everything else in this sector is imported, expatriate based. So we thought it wise to bring it down here for our students or local young people here to benefit from it, and also so we're looking at welding, logistics, HSC, and then P joint welding, and then we have the joint coating.
The Accra Polytechnic is seeking to also exploit how biogas can be used in the generation of energy in these times of energy crisis to power electrical gadgets on campus.
The Ministry of Health has challenged the Mental Health Board to exploit other avenues of funding to defray debt it owned. Public Relations Officer of the Ministry, Tony Goodman, reminded board members of their mandate to source of funding to run psychiatric facilities. He was reacting to the Chief Psychiatrist, Dr. Akwesi Osei's pronouncement of a possible shutdown of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital due to indebtedness.
Chief Psychiatrist Dr. Akwesi Osei told Metro News that the Accra Psychiatric Hospital may face a possible shutdown if debt's own caterers are not paid to avert a disaster. According to the Chief Psychiatrist, the hospital can no longer provide medical supplies to take care of mentally challenged patients. But speaking to Metro News, Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Health, Tony Goodman, noted that The ministry does not control funds, adding that it can only facilitate financial procurement.
The Ministry of Health, we don't control funds, so we cannot go and just be giving them money. We had to go to the one that keeps national purse and then get money for them. Last year, the ministry went out to give money to suppliers that supplied medicine to Accra Psychiatric Hospital. So we do that. Some of the things are supposed to be done by the facility, are supposed to be done by the board.
He stated the Ministry of Health is undertaking various initiatives to make funds available by the end of the week to take care of the hospital's financial obligations.
We understand, we know the challenge at that facility, and we will continue to persuade the appropriate authority and get the resources for them to continue running the institution.
Touching on the current strike action by nurses at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, he said actions has been taken to address their concerns.
On our part, we are doing, when you go to Tamale Teaching Hospital, you will see a lot of accommodation facilities being put up there by the ministry. We could have completed this accommodation last year, but for lack of will from our contractors, they were not able to complete this work, so it is also a challenge. So what we've done as a ministry is to abrogate the contract with some of those contractors.
For the past 3 months, the Accra Psychiatric Hospital has not received its subvention, a situation according to the chief psychiatrist will see the hospital charge patients as much as 550 cedis for admission by Monday if government does not release its subvention.
Let's now shift attention to the House of Legislature, where Member of Parliament for Tema East yesterday called on the Electoral Commission to allow political parties actively participate in the district-level elections. Nee Titus Glover says this because already political parties are actively influencing the process. Michael Uti has more.
Parliament resumed from its Christmas break on Tuesday, 3rd February, for the third session of the 6th Parliament of the Fourth Republic. As the House commences sitting, Majority Leader Alban Bagbin has asked members to attach more seriousness to their work. Alban Bagbin said, "It is most important given that the session is short and the workload is big." In that regard, he has made a passionate appeal to constituents and Ghanaians in general to reduce the pressure placed on their MPs.
I just need to try and plead with our constituents to at least reduce the pressure on members and allow members to focus on parliamentary duties. I think we have performed the constituency duties and we've taken a lot of time to do so. I'm just pleading that at least reduce the pressure on members and don't call members between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
Minority Leader Osei Chairman Sabunsu asked government to submit its programs to the House on time to allow the House do due diligence.
We have a rather short time. Let us be much more diligent in our work and let government come to us with the relevant information in the fullness of time so we can interrogate and make informed decisions about the way for us in our developmental agenda.
The Speaker, Edward Doe Ajaho, was not happy about some reports in the media that the House had rescheduled its reopening date due to financial constraints.
That report was inaccurate concoction. Only one notice was issued by Parliament, and I'll request the members of the press to cross-check their facts before rushing to publish and choose in the media.
The House later considered the Youth Employment Agency Bill 2014. With the history of the poor handling of the youth employment issues leading to the trial of Abu Gapele, the current law is expected to cover all grey areas of youth employment in the country.
Meanwhile, the Interior Minister has charged the newly inaugurated National Election Security Task Force to be firm in coordinating and monitoring events ahead of the March 3 district-level elections. Mark Woyongo particularly urged to draw lessons from previous exercises to reduce tension often associated with such events. The event was witnessed by the IGP, some service commanders and officials of the local government ministry.
National elections in Ghana are characterized by tension and in some cases violence, but its level during district level election is quite minimal because it is not done on partisan basis. Rivalry among candidates, often fueled by suspicion of behind-the-scenes sponsorship by political parties or influential individuals, allegation and counter-accusations, issues about minors and other related election issues are of concern to the Electoral Commission and national security. The task force, which includes officers from the police service, Navy, Air Force, the Ghana Prison Service, the local government ministry and the Electoral Commission, is expected to monitor and coordinate the activities of all subcommittees to be established. In a brief address, the IGP, Mohamed Al-Hassan, reminded the task force that their efficiency and a successful election will take Ghana another step forward in its democratic dispensation.
Electioneering and party politicking are bedfellows, and these often breed opposition, antagonism, fanaticism, and to some extent intolerance. It can result in violent confrontations if appropriate security measures are not put in place to ensure fairness. It is in this area that we as security services have a crucial role to play. We are here to strategize not only on how to provide adequate security protection for election officials, electoral materials, and the electorate, but also to safeguard the integrity of the election as a whole. Let me quickly remind all of us that the coming district assembly elections can be considered as precursor for the elections of 2016.
The IGP also tasked members to take cue from previous elections to sustain their credibility.
The various stakeholders in the elections must also play their respective role as expected. The Electoral Commission has the key functions to perform, and others like the National Commission for Civic Education has the responsibility to educate the populace on the need to exercise their civil rights devoid of rancor. A national assignment of this nature, which calls for the amalgamation of resources and the application of numerous rules and regulations, demand a united command.
Interior Minister Makwoyongo emphasized on the relevance of the March 3 elections and demanded full commitment.
The importance of these local government structures in the overall national development plan needs no emphasis. These structures are invariably the bedrock of our democracy and therefore must be given all the seriousness and attention they deserve. Security of every election is an issue that is very crucial to us as a government. We are not oblivious of the numerous examples on our continent where the lapses in election security have led to devastating human casualties over the past few years. We need to put measures in place to ensure transparency and fairness in our elections if we have to avoid elections-related violence in our country.
Mr. Woyongo also pledged government's commitment to provide all needed logistics to ensure a smooth elections. He also urged the media to extend their sensitization programs to those in rural communities for full participation.
It is very important that we leave the candidates to do their own preparations so as to avoid the unnecessary clashes which can mar the beauty of the exercise. I urge all candidates to avoid engaging in activities that will mar the beauty of these elections. I urge all of us to assist the Electoral Commission and the security agencies by being law-abiding and obeying all the rules and regulations concerning this exercise, so that at the end of the day, we can all beat our chests and say we are part of the success story.
The task force is expected to coordinate with the Electoral Commission on how to effectively run platform campaigns to ensure fairness. Other key mandates were spelled out to members in camera.